What's going on, everybody? Welcome into episode 42 to the show. We got Ed Han and myself, Andrew Parker. If you didn't get to check out 41, we had the Woo Sox manager, Chad Tracy, on. Great episode, as always. I mean, the countless times myself, Ed, Chris, all the guys were in Chad Tracy's office pre and post game in Worcester this past year, and how great he treated us was I don't know. I just can't say enough about the guy. He's a class act, one of the best guys in AAA. And that leads us to our guest today. He is the newest member of the Red Sox organization. We got Jamie Westbrook. Now, Jamie, congrats on becoming a dad. And so I'm guessing that probably has consumed a little bit of your off season. But how has the off season been going for you?
What's up, guys? First off, new father, so that's been everything and more. I tried to golf as much as I could before the baby was here, so that has kind of stopped. But I did get the go ahead to go out Sunday for the first time in a while for my wife, so I'm pumped about that. But off season's good, man. I'm in Arizona, just hanging out, hitting, working out, seeing my friends, family, changing diapers, giving bottles. Really not much going on.
Now you're an Arizona local, right? Like you're born and raised.
No, it's a funny story. I actually was born in Springfield, Mass.
Really?
Yeah, all my family's still back there, Holyoke, actually, more specifically. But I moved to Arizona when I was 10, so I do have some Massachusetts roots, which is hilarious. Every time we'd play the Woo Sox or whatever, I'd have 20, 30, 40 people in the stands. My grandfather's able to see me play and stuff, so yeah, I'm really excited about getting back home and. Still got the 413 number on my cell phone number. So yeah, Northeast kid at heart. So it's super cool to come back home.
How did they feel when you told them you're sided with the Red Sox?
Oh yeah, everyone was pumped, man. I mean, half of my family is Yankees fans, half are Red Sox fans. So last year being with the Yankees, half was, fired. You know, um, the other half gets to enjoy me playing for their favorite team. So it's super cool to be back home. And I mean, just off days, you're gonna get to see family, and like I said, hang out with my grandpa, and it's gonna be really nice.
Do you feel does it feel dirty at all going from Yankees to Red Sox?
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. It is kind of a weird deal. Like I've thought about like walking into the clubhouse in spring training with like my Yankees equipment bag before they give me the Red Sox one. Um, but I mean, it's business, dude. Like you see trade. I mean, like the Verdugo trade, or I mean, you see guys like Darnell McDonald, or it's kind of an obscure name, but I mean, there's guys who play for both. Jacoby Ellsbury, So, yeah, but it is a little different. No doubt, it definitely crossed my mind.
Yeah, that's okay. You're gonna make some people happy with those references, though. That you even know who Darnell McDonald is. He does analysis for Nesson now, so
Yeah,
that's a relevant guy.
no doubt. Yeah, Darnell actually lives out in Arizona where he did for a while, and actually was like a mental skills coach at one point too. So I've known him for quite some time, and we have a good relationship. So kind of cool. Yeah, and I know he works for Neston, so I'm saying, hey, full circle, dude. I'm coming to hopefully give you an interview or something in Fenway Park.
Now, did you the baseball scene in Arizona? I went to Arizona State for a year, and I lived in Scottsdale for a few months in my early 20s, and I just remember my friend that I was staying with. They had a batting cage set up in his backyard, and this guy Dax Jones would go there to give lessons, and his big student at the time was Ike Davis, who was the first baseman for the Mets. They'd just be casually doing batting practice in my buddy's backyard because they had the cage there. And like he had his little brother and his friends would come over. He was a baseball player, and like one of these kids, his dad was just casually the hitting coach for the Mets. Another one, his dad was a minor leaguer. Did you grow up in that big baseball culture? Were there a lot of your friends that were connected to MLB?
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, Arizona's a hotbed. I mean, there's so many guys in the big leagues or minor leaguers, that just relocate here or from here. So yeah, it wasn't, rare to have a coach that had played in the big leagues just on a random little league or travel ball team, or hey, this guy's dad played in AAA. Or I mean, there's the lineage of ball players in Arizona is, it's bar none. So yeah, it's nice. You get like really good instruction. The weather's nice all year. Like you're just kind of around people that know the game from an early age. So that was definitely definitely a benefit of my parents moving me out here and kind of getting me, acclimated with ultimately what was going to be my career.
No, I can't remember when Scranton came. I know they were in town quite a bit. I feel like every other series we were either playing Lehigh or Scranton, so I knew you guys were in town quite a bit. Um, did you remember at all, like playing? I know you said you had some family there, but were you there early in the year when it was freezing cold?
Oh yeah, I was there all year. I went to Worcester. Yeah, I was beginning, and it was like misting rain the whole time. Like wouldn't rain hard, but it was just misty rain and like 25 degrees for the whole day. Yeah, I remember that day vividly. Trust me.
Yeah, it rained about every single day we were there. I'm pretty sure they set a record. I think Worcester did for most rainfall in its history. I'm don't quote me on that, but I think that's true. But I didn't know if you were there in the early part of the season when it was freezing cold and some of the guys were like, "Oh, it was you're not going to be used to that being down in Florida, Arizona, and then Florida, then up there." So
Yeah, totally. Yeah, I was there, and then I mean Scranton is no slouch either. It's pretty cold there. I mean, not too far away, but it's just kind of what you expect going into the year. Like Northeast baseball, like it's gonna be cold and probably rainy. We went to St. Paul early in the year too. We were playing like snow flurries, like it was just ridiculous. But hey, it's what you got to do.
It's
well,
baseball.
So, family aside, so obviously, like I know, like you have a lot of family that's going to be able to go to games this year and see you. But what else drew you to the Red Sox?
Like they were one of the first teams to reach out to me in free agency. And obviously they had seen me play a lot just from being in Worcester so much. And I feel like I always played well against the Woo Sox when I was there. So that kind of people are always watching. You know what I'm saying? You know who does good against you. You know what player you don't like playing against for whatever reason. And yeah, they reached out to my agent and I had a call with Alex Cora early on in the recruiting process, and he was super down to earth. Did his research, knew a little bit about me, and I just felt like it'd be a good opportunity for me to continue my career and get to the big leagues. And so yeah, I'm super excited for the next chapter. And yeah, I'm going into my 11th season and probably sixth, seventh team now or something ridiculous. I can't even keep track. I'm no Edwin Jackson, but I'm stacking the teams up. So yeah, I'm really excited to get going.
You haven't just stacked the teams up; you've stacked the countries up. I'm looking at this right now. You played in Australia at one point.
Yeah, I played in Sydney, Australia, in the Australian Baseball League in 2015, I believe, after my high A year. So that was super cool. I had a chance to go there. I played winter ball in Mexico one off season, Olympics in Japan. So yeah, I've kind of been all over the place playing, which is I'm super fortunate to be able to have done.
What was that experience like for you in the Olympics?
It was super cool, man. Like, I mean, it was during COVID, right? So there wasn't like a packed stadium or anything, and we were kind of quarantined. But I mean, you still felt the energy. I mean, I remember being in the gold medal game, and there's really not that many people in the stands, but the tension's like so high. It felt like every seat was, packed, and it was awesome. Go represent your country. Ultimately, we unfortunately lost in the gold medal game. But yeah, to be a silver medalist and say I had that experience, and you can't take that away from me, and super fortunate to have done it.
Now, I know Tristan Cassis was on that team. Was Eddie Alvarez on that team also?
Yeah, Tristan was on that team, and Eddie Alvarez also was on that team. Yeah, so there's some more Red Sox connections there, which is pretty cool. And I think Duran was on the like qualifying team, and then either was on the 40 man and didn't end up playing on the real Olympic team. But yeah, definitely some Red Sox lineage. And then Darren Fenster, I believe is his name, an old like outfield coordinator, was one of our first base coach or third base coaches. So definitely some Red Sox connections there.
Yeah. I feel like this year the World Baseball Classic really it seemed like it was just the biggest it's ever been. And maybe that was Otani playing in it, and maybe it was more big leaguers playing in it. But what's it like to represent your country rather than your team?
Yeah, it's super cool, man. I mean, you're playing for like, I don't know how many people are in America. What, some 400 million maybe? I don't know if I'm
Something
kind
like
of
that,
accurate
give or
on that
take.
number,
Sounds
something
right.
like that, but you
This
got
isn't
like
the
the whole,
geography
yeah,
podcast.
something like that. There's a lot of people, but it's cool. Everyone's tuned in across the country or across the ocean, at all weird hours of the night, 6 a.m. People are cheering you on, and it just means a little more when you line up and you're like, man, this is the best of the best, and we're representing, where we come from. So it's super cool to, kind of play with that pride across your chest, and it's a little bit different than playing a minor league game or whatever. Not that you're not trying to win, you know what I'm saying, but it means a little bit more for sure.
So last season, you predominantly played second base in Scranton, but I saw you also appeared in games at third base and left field. Is that something that you might like going forward that you're going to try to, play other spots other than at second base?
Oh yeah, definitely. I played a good bit of third last year, the most I ever have in my career, and I played a little bit of outfield. But in years past, there's been years where I played outfield solely, so I'm pretty comfortable doing whatever. I mean, anywhere you can play adds value as long as you could, get in the lineup. So yeah, I've kind of been fortunate to learn that utility role throughout my different, stints with different organizations and throughout the years. So I think it's something that definitely could benefit me moving forward.
So I'm just going to read off a couple of numbers for you, and then I'll have a question. And the number is your slash line for your career: 279, batting average, 345 on base percentage, 434 slugging percentage. In 2023, so this previous season, you slashed 294 with a 400 on base percentage and a 496 slugging percentage, capped off by a career high 21 homers. So I just want to know, where the heck did the power come from? When did you start? Where that looks like it was. I'm just looking through all of your career numbers. That you've had some very good offensive seasons, but this at AAA to put up a season like that, like what were you doing differently? What was different about 2023 than every other year?
Well, that's gonna be a loaded answer, loaded question, but I think that I mean I've always had power. I'm no stronger than I was when I was 17 years old when I got drafted. I was always able to drive the ball. I think just I mean the ups and downs and like trials and tribulations and completely like understanding myself really. I mean I've had over 4,000 minor league at bats, so you just kind of like fine tune your things, and I was able to figure out like, hey, like you're this hitter, you're good at this, you're bad at that, let's make this better, and I hate to talk about the Yankees on here, but they were I do have to give them a lot of credit for my hitting coach in AAA. Trevor Amicone was like really awesome at presenting the analytics and saying like, hey, you do this really well. This was down in past years. In your best years, you did this a little bit better, and there's ways that they gave me to work on it. So it's kind of like I felt like I had the answers to the test, right? Like, okay, I do this good, continue to do that. This needs to be better, and here's how you do it. So I was able to buy in, and that was a big part of it. And then also, man, like I've been around, you know what I'm saying? Like I've been released, I've been sent down, I've spent 5 years in a double A in a row, like nothing. I've kind of been through a lot throughout my career, and I finally just kind of gave in. It was like, you know what, dude, like be fortunate that you're still able to do this 10 years later. Like your body's been healthy the whole time, which you should, not many people could say, and like just go have fun. And I really like, as cliche as it sounds, like I feel like I channeled like the inner 12-year-old kid in me. Like, dude, if I told myself at 12 years old that I would be like in big league camp with the Yankees, and like getting paid to play baseball, like I would be fired up about it. So I kind of dropped all of the expectations and, you know, um, oh, my career's gone this way, that way. I need to do this, I need to do that. And I just kind of dove into having fun playing. And, the year spoke for itself.
Yeah, it sounds like the mental side of it, you definitely were able to. I'm trying to think of like how to put this, but like you've been at this for such a long time. I feel like that must, there's got to be that part of it that gets a little frustrated, but there's also got to be that part of it that I mean, that's got to be your dream, right? To get to the majors.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And I've always believed in myself, and I mean that's why I've continued to stay around for this long, and I've always played well, and uh, people keep giving me jobs. You know what I'm saying? So I must be doing something right. And yeah, I just kind of got away from like oh, what's this organization think about me, or I have to do this, or this move has to happen, or it's what all baseball players do, and I just kind of like what, dude. I'm showing up tonight. I'm going to try to do the best I can, have some fun while I do it. I'm always been confident in my ability, and I truly bought into that. And yeah, it's my best year yet. So, do the same thing next year and enjoy it and see what happens.
Yeah, I got a good scouting report from our good pal Josh Lester, who spent some time with you in the Tigers system, and that was one of the first things he said. He's like, that guy swung it last year. So he also talked about your golf game, but I don't have to put that one out here. But
Hey, I haven't played with Big Len in a little bit. The golf game's gotten a little bit better than last time you see me, but you know what? It's all good. He can talk. I'll just stay working. I'll stay working. He can see me on the links.
he almost made it sound like it was one of those things where he was kind of like, he might not be playing for score, but he's having fun. So it almost might sound like that he thinks your handicap's not looking too good these days. But
yeah, like I said, you could let the outside noise get in, but you know where to find me, Big Led. I'm out here in Arizona. You know what I'm saying? Any course, anytime. When my wife lets me, and we can see how it is.
I'll make sure I clip it. I'll send that to him. I got your back. It is crazy. We're just at that time of the year, how dark it got so quickly in your
Yeah, that
background.
was
That
quick.
was nuts.
I might actually gonna go move, get some light on me here.
Oh, it's all good. You could have stayed out there. It didn't matter. But it's just that time of the year. It was dark here at like 4:00. So we
Yeah,
understand in the Northeast.
absolutely. So,
I did want to. I did want to ask about one of your new teammates that you kind of alluded to earlier with the trade. We saw a lot of Greg Weiser the past couple of years face off against us. I know you got to be teammates with him this past year. And what type of pitcher are the Red Sox getting in Weiser?
Yeah, I love Greg. Actually, speaking of golf, that's who I golfed with a majority of my time last year. Great golfer. Me and him would go out and play, 36 holes on off days sometimes if we could, or head out whenever we could. He was always down to do it. But on the baseball side of it, I've been talking about golf a lot. I mean, you could tell I enjoy the game, but as a pitcher, I mean, the dude's nasty. Like, he's funky. He's got the like cross body setup, like whirly bird slider that everyone's seen, the sweeper or whatever they call it. And I mean, he throws a hard heater, sink heater, ride heater. I mean, he's a bulldog out there. So it was always fun playing defense behind him.
Did it surprise you at all? See, I know you kind of alluded to it earlier, but did it shock you at all to see the Red Sox and Yankees like doing some business this offseason?
Um, there was like whispers of it last year. So I kind of wasn't too surprised. Um, But yeah, I mean, it is always a weird deal. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're just supposed to be like these bitter rivals that like hate each other. You think like front offices wouldn't even talk, But I mean, business is business, and both teams are trying to make the best move for their squad, and sometimes it happens like that.
There's another guy that came over, and it wasn't in that trade, but he's another teammate of yours, Mickey Gasper. Was taken in the minor league portion of the Rule 5 draft. What can you tell us about him?
Mickey is your stereotypical Northeast grinder guy, catcher, switch hitter. I mean, this guy is just total gamer. Like, I would love going to war with this guy any day. Great smile, unbelievable dude. Works his butt off. Like, I have nothing but great things to say about Mickey. When I saw that happen, I texted him. I said, "Hey, dude, like, this is gonna be awesome." You know what I'm saying? So definitely excited to have a familiar face with him over there, and I wish him the best, and I'm excited to see him in spring training.
Yeah, do you know? I know he didn't play in AAA at all. Do you know Fitz, the Richard Fitz, the other guy that came over there? Because I think he's going to be in AAA to start the year.
No, I don't. I didn't. I mean, so many new faces in spring training, and I might have met him, but I'm not too familiar with him. But yeah, another Yankee to Red Sox there's kind of a lot of guys like this year. It's been kind of weird, whether it be the Verdugo trade or Mickey and Fitz guy, like it's myself. So it's weird stuff going on, man.
If you can compete in the AL East, you can compete anywhere, I guess.
Absolutely.
I do think Mickey Gasper has a what top 5 baseball name. When he came over, I'm like, that guy's gonna get it.
Yep, absolutely, and great mustache also.
The most important part.
Yeah, most important part, great mustache. So yeah, Mickey. Like I said, I can't speak more highly about him, and I'm excited for him to get a clean slate and a fresh opportunity and see what he could do with it.
I will say we're going to need mustaches in the locker room because Ryan Fernandez has departed to the Cardinals in the Rule 5 draft, and he probably had the best stash in the Woo Sox locker room this past year. So you're going to have to step up. I don't know if you're up to the task.
Yeah, we'll see how we do. I mean, the thing with the mustache is, like, I always want to try it out. Like, my wife loves it. I don't know why. I think I look goofy as all get out with it, but she loves it. So, like, you know what? I'm rocking the stash for a little. And I feel like every time I've got a mustache, I stop hitting. And I have to shave it off, and then I get hot again. So, if you see me with a mustache, maybe either tell me to shave it off, or I'm in a really bad spot trying to rejuvenate some things. So the mustache would definitely come and go. I can't tell you when or why, but we'll see. It definitely gonna make an appearance here and there.
So during the season, this is just you live out in Arizona during the off season, right?
Yep.
Do you bring your family with you, like your wife, your kid? Are they going to be with you, or do they stay back there during the season?
We're working through that right now. Last year my wife was pregnant most of the season, so we planned on her being with me all year. But then she was back and forth with doctor's appointments and stuff. And then this year with the baby, obviously it's going to be a little bit harder, but no, they're going to be with me. I would like to say a majority of the time if we can. It's definitely nice to get away. It puts the game in perspective, and come home to your wife. She doesn't care if you went 0 for 5 or hit 2 homers. I mean, she's a little more happier when I hit the homers, but it's nice to come home and kind of get away from the game and realize, what truly matters.
Yeah, I don't get married till next year, but I know that the motto. Well, thanks, but I know the motto is "Happy Wife, Happy Life." So I definitely understand whenever you're just like, I gotta make sure that she's good and whatever she needs on her situation. So
Yeah, no truer words have ever been spoken. I promise you that. If I to give you any advice, happy wife, happy life is solid as they come.
Yeah, Ed just got married not that long ago. I don't know how the heck you guys wedding plan. I don't know how you plan for a baby. I don't know. I'm gonna find out. So it's
I'll let you know when I get to the second one. The wedding part was fun. We had a good time.
I'm almost there. It's coming up, but all right. So I asked you earlier a little bit of like, hey, what kind of drew you to the Red Sox? But there's been a common theme like this offseason. And obviously they traded away a second baseman early in the offseason in Urias to Seattle. But my question is, did you take in consideration, I guess, whenever you were looking at the offer and seeing that they do have a need at second base and right-handed hitter as well, but was that ever a consideration for you whenever you were looking through teams?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, you kind of see like, I mean, I've been a free agent a good bit of times now, so you kind of see like opportunity, and that's more of like my agent's job. I don't necessarily worry about it too much, but he's kind of in charge of saying like, hey, they have opportunity here, there's pathway there. You know what I'm saying? And we weigh our options and see what's the best pathway to get me to the big leagues. So yeah, that definitely was a determining factor. And that's nice to have, but ultimately it doesn't mean anything if I don't go out and do what I need to do, right? I can't worry about, who's ahead of me, who's behind me. I've got to worry about myself and going out and playing my game. And, I don't make those decisions. I just try to make them as tough as they can on the people who do. And yeah, I believe if I go out and do what I have to do, the sky's the limit, and we'll see, what happens at the end of it.
All right, Ed. I have some rapid fire questions here. They're random, non-baseball related.
Okay.
So my first question, and it's What was your initial reaction when you saw the Shohei Ohtani deal?
I saw it. I saw it on Twitter, and I thought it was like one of those fake accounts. You know what I'm saying? Like, oh, they're being sarcastic. Like, he got $700 million. Like, da da da. And then I saw it on like Talking Baseball Instagram, and I'm like, oh my god, like this really happened. So yeah, that was my reaction. You know.
All right. That's fair. I think that was everybody's reaction. So, I don't know. I saw a lot of players on Twitter just putting like laughing emojis and being like, "This is like not real." So
Yeah, it did honestly. Like, you see that number, and you're like, oh, like, because you know, everyone speculates like, oh, he's gonna get 500 million, he's gonna get this. You're like, yeah, you know, he might get that. I don't know, maybe it's the lesser years for this, like super high like annual salary. And then you see that, you're like, oh, okay, nice. You know.
So part two of that question then, what is a player's thought on the deferral?
See, I've kind of just done some research on it, or like, you know, see what people are talking about, or like I know like Passan tweeted about it, this and that, and like I don't know, like my understanding is like, okay, he wants to free up as much space as he can to make the team around him better, which is like cool. I mean, the guy's not hurting for money; he's making Uber money and endorsements and, you know, Japanese media and whatnot. Um, but yeah, I guess I was just like curious, like, okay, like they're gonna have to pay him eventually, and then that's gonna go against, like, they're gonna, you know, like, so are they like, all right, for this 10 years, we're gonna try to win as many World Series as we can, and then once we have to pay Shohei, we're gonna have like 6 players out there because we have to pay. Like, I don't know how that works, but I mean, it's exciting stuff, dude. Like, you got like Mookie Betts, Freddie Freeman, and Shohei in a lineup. Like, as a baseball fan, like, I mean, it's gonna be fun to watch. You know what
How
I'm
do you
saying?
even pitch to that?
Yeah, I carefully, I guess.
All right. Question two. I need the worst part of your golf game.
Okay, worst part of my golf game is my driver. Because I just like in baseball, I drive the ball to right center field, and it's just so hard for me to like snap my wrist and like roll over and like hit a draw. And yeah, it's like I should be hitting the ball like relatively far, and I like the ball speed's coming, but just the trajectory sometimes, like, I'll lose it right or I'll hook it left. So yeah, that kind of drives me nuts. But everything else is pretty sound. You know what? I'm gonna text Josh Lester after this, man, because he hasn't seen me play in a couple years. And you know what? My short game's all right. I can putt a little bit. Irons, I get him there. But yeah, the driver gets a little wonky on me. So that would definitely be it.
Okay. Did you ever, just a follow-up question on the golf. Did you ever, when you were first starting, did you baseball swing it?
Um, no, I kind of had a grasp of golf. Like, I played like one summer. My dad like was like, "Dude, you're not playing all stars. Like, you're burnt out from baseball. Like, you're getting a hobby." So I played golf like when I was 12, like all summer. So I kind of got like the basis of it. So once I picked it up like a few years ago, like I kind of had an idea of what I was doing. But definitely baseball grip. But I kind of understood a golf swing a little bit.
Okay. Next question here. It's a very important question too.
Most important question you're going to answer today.
I've asked everybody on the show. So, all right. So it's dinner time. Let's say it. You go get in your car and you're like, I want some fast food tonight. Specifically, I want fast food and it's got to be a fried chicken sandwich or like fried chicken strips or whatever. Where are you
You're feeling
going?
the fried chicken, whatever it may be.
Man, it's hard not to say like Chick-fil-A, man. Like, I feel like it's consistent. They do
Yeah,
it the
you're right.
best.
They are. They're great.
You know,
I love Chick-fil-A.
you know what you're getting. They're all over the country. Like, the service is great. Like, you know, like you just know what you're getting, man. It's really good. Sneaky pick though. Like, I don't know if you guys have Canes up north,
Yeah, we
but
got
like,
one.
yeah,
We got
like
like a single Canes in Boston.
okay, yeah, Canes is I feel the same way about. But yeah, it's probably Chick-fil-A, man. Like, it's cliche, but like they're good. You know what you're getting.
It's cliche
Okay.
for a reason, I think.
Right, yeah.
Things are
Wrong
popular
answer,
usually
but
because they are good.
Right.
it's okay. It was the wrong answer, but I'm gonna let that one slide.
Well, I have one to follow up on that actually, because you're on the West Coast and you've got two burger joints that we
Oh,
don't
that's a
get
layup
here.
though.
Is it In-N-Out Burger or Whataburger?
In-N-Out Burger, but I don't know if those two are like comparable. I'm not the biggest like In-N-Out guy. I mean, it's good. Like, don't get me wrong. The like fandom over In-N-Out, I don't really understand. But yeah, I mean, it's good. But like, no, Whataburger's like kind of that's like run of the mill. Like that might as well be Carl's Jr. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just
Oh,
kind of
wow.
yeah.
Okay, so we're not
But,
sending this one into the social media team for
Yeah.
Whataburger then.
yeah, I
Yeah.
probably shouldn't have said that, but hey, Whataburger, I'm sorry. I will smack a honey butter chicken biscuit though. Don't get me twisted. I will do that. So I definitely have some love for Whataburger, but I don't know the last time I've had a burger from Whataburger.
Okay. I mean, that's gonna be some fighting words. There's a lot of Texas guys, a lot of California guys in the Red Sox system. So just might want to not
Yeah,
put that one public. But
already a Yankees guy coming in talking mess about their burger joint. Yeah,
it's okay.
A hole
The
here.
right answer, by the way, for the chicken question was Zaxby's. It'll always be Zaxby's. Canes, though, is up there. They just put a Canes in Marlboro, Framingham.
Oh, really?
Okay.
Yeah,
That's
down
cool.
from Worcester. It's not too far, man. It's drivable. So
Yeah, so Zaxby's, I mean, I feel like Zaxby's and Canes are kind of one and the same, but I would rather Canes over Zaxby's, if that makes sense.
okay, fair enough.
I live to see you get flustered over this, Andrew.
Hey, he's asking me the questions, right? You know,
I
never
just
asked a
listen, man.
yeah, never asked a
I've asked
question.
42 people on this show. Well, you're the 42nd guest we've had on this show, and I'm searching for Zaxby's guys, and I think I've only had like 3 of
I
the
think it was just
42.
Vanilla. Vanilla's is the one I remember being like
I
really
think
into
I think
Zaxby's.
Yeah.
Josh Lester said it. He's a Georgia guy. I think he
Yeah.
did say Zaxby's.
Yeah, Georgia guy, that makes sense. But hey, I mean, the
Yeah,
numbers don't lie. I mean, 3 for 42 is not great. I'm not,
I know, man.
try not to
I
look
gotta.
at the batting average too much, but I know that's not good.
Listen,
I'm
those are
about to
all you
get
got to look at the slugging
DFA'd.
percentage. Those are all home runs.
True. Okay.
I had
Good with
one
that.
last random question before we shoot to Ed. It has something to do with the Otani question, the contract. But you're a golf guy, so I'm assuming you watch golf.
All the time. Golf Channel,
Okay.
old Tiger highlights, you name it.
Okay.
Very in tune to the golf world.
Which deal surprised you more, Shohei Otani or John Rahm?
Wow, that is a great question.
I was kind of stuck. I'm like, I didn't see either one of them coming.
I honestly think the Shohei Otani deal, because you hear like Liv was offering Tiger like $1 billion, right? Or Phil's getting 250 or whatever. You know, like the numbers were up there, right? Like Dustin Johnson like 150, right? Like I mean the numbers were there, and then I think to pull John Rahm away from the tour. I mean, this guy just won a Masters and kind of stood on the PGA tours like, yeah, like stood up for him and seemed pretty adamant. So the number had to be quite ridiculous, and obviously they've got it right. But I mean, when you think about like 700,000, like, or 700 million, that's like almost double like the highest contract ever. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not even blew it out of the water, which I guess it did in the golf world too. But like in baseball, you just don't see like, I didn't think that was possible, honestly, you know.
Fair. All right, Ed. That was talking golf. I know you're not a big golf guy, but you can.
Oh no, I
You
just
can.
zoned out. It's fine.
It's, all right. We'll pass it to you.
Yeah, who is your favorite team growing up, and who is your favorite player?
Man, I hate to say it. I grew up a Yankees fan.
It's okay.
All my uncles were Yankees fans, so but yeah, I was a Yankees fan growing up, but my dad actually really liked the Braves. Him and Mark Wohlers went to high school together
Oh
in
wow.
Holyoke, actually, Northeast guy. So I really liked Rafael Furcal, dude. Like that was my guy. I was a big Rafael Furcal fan. I don't know how many people would say that, but he was a good player and a little kind of shorter guy like me, and nice, like had the sick wristbands, big forearms. So like I always grew up watching him.
I have this very vivid memory of Rafael Furcal bunting a double. Just because there was nobody down the third baseline, he just got it
Yeah.
past him. He was like, this was back when like the Braves were always on TBS.
Yeah.
And so that was my National League team. But I have because the reason I ask you if the favorite player is because just with your build and your position and Arizona and honestly your statistical profile, at least for for the minors, I mean, there's some Dustin Pedroia in your game.
Yeah, no doubt. Definitely, obviously, I mean, being a short, undersized guy, like PD was a man at ASU. Like I've read his book. He used to work out at a place that I went to, so definitely one of those guys you look up to, without a doubt. I mean, he kind of paved the way, um, for my era, my generation. So yeah, definitely a Pedroia guy for sure. Root for him. But I guess being a Yankees fan, you weren't, a
Yeah.
diehard Dustin
Yeah. If you're a
Pedroia
Yankee fan,
but
that's a little bit of a deal killer.
I mean, definitely respect the hell out of him. I mean, that goes without saying. I mean, that guy's, one of the best to ever do it. So, without a doubt, yeah.
Now, I'm just going through your numbers. There was one season that you had. It wasn't really a season. It was a very short call-up. It was 7 games that you had in Reno in 2018. I believe it was your first time up in AAA, and you hit 4 home runs in your first 7 games. So I was just wondering what was going on there with all that power in that
So I
short
was
period.
a funny story about that actually. So I was in the Southern League. I think that was like my 3rd or 4th year in the Southern League, like at AA. So like, I mean, it's hard to hit in the Southern League. Like, the ball doesn't fly. It's humid as all get out. The ballparks are huge. Like, it's hot. So, I mean, that's kind of what happened to my power, I think, too. Like, it's just hard to hit home runs where I was for a majority of my career, right? So, and I just been hearing about, like, oh, the PCL, the ball flies, Reno, like, da da da. And, like, I feel like I was just so happy to be in a place where I didn't have to, like, obliterate a ball to, like, just have it be caught at the wall, to where I was like, oh, dude, I'm here. Like, let's get it. Like, this is awesome. And yeah, I was killing the ball. It was awesome. And then actually I get sent down back to AA after that a week later. So it's kind of like
It's
well,
anticlimactic.
yeah, it's like, oh, all right. Wish I could have done better, but we'll see but hey, it's part of the deal.
You're like our guy Lester was playing in Vegas for the AAA championship in Norfolk, and he said that same thing. He's like, that ball flies out there. Like, it is like a whole different animal than playing out here in the cold Northeast. So
Yeah, it's not even close, dude. It's night and day. Like, and not necessarily. I mean, of course, you still got to hit the ball. You know what I mean? But like, you just feel so much confident, and like, you don't have to like swing as hard, try as hard. Like, you're not like trying to rip the cover off the ball because you just touch it. Like, you're gonna get rewarded for it. So, I think it's more of a mental thing where people are just like, you know what, like, all I gotta do is stay with my approach, and I'll be rewarded, as opposed to, like, you see the IL, like the home run numbers are usually, way different than the PCL. So it's definitely affects your mind, no doubt.
now I have, unless your name's Bobby Dahlbeck, by the way, or Luke and Baker or whoever it is, but I have one last question, Ed, and then I can pass it to you, and you can kind of finish it off here. I was about to say that he was. I want him to get inside because it's probably cold, but it's probably not 20 degrees like it is here down there. So
Pretty nice.
Nowhere better to be.
Yeah, of course. But Ed actually pointed out a good point to me that, well, you signed in NRI, so you're going to be appearing in quite a few spring training games coming up here in February, so in March. So we'll be seeing you quite a bit, and I know Red Sox fans will get to seeing a lot of games when they're tuning in and getting excited for baseball. But what are I guess for fans that aren't too familiar with you, like what kind of player are they going to be seeing?
Oh, great question, man. Like, I like to look out on the field, and like, this dude's got a smile on his face, like he's competing his butt off. Like, he swings hard. He can hit the ball hard. He's running balls out down the line. Playing the game the right way. Vocal. Yeah, I just hope people when they watch me know, like, this dude like enjoys being out there. And I never want to take that for granted. Um, there's actually like this sign. Speaking of Reno again, like walking out right before the dugout, and it's like it's someone's first time at like Greater Nevada Field. You know what I mean? And it's like it's cliche and whatever, but like that's true, man. Like I remember being like a little kid going to spring training games and just like being enamored by all of these players and like how cool it was, and like that like number 98 or whoever was still like the man in your eyes, so like I don't take that lightly at all. And yeah, I'm fortunate and appreciative to be out there every day, so I try to reflect that in my play, good, bad, punchy, homer, whatever, dude. Like, I'm here, I'm enjoying this, I'm blessed to be here, and hopefully you see that when you watch me play.
All right, Ed, take us home.
All right, last question for me is just going to be, what is your favorite city that you have ever gotten to play in? And what is it doesn't have to be your least favorite city, but what is a city that you just would prefer never playing in again for whatever
Um,
reason? Could be just that you've had bad luck there.
could it be like minor league city? Could it be overseas? Could it be like anywhere?
Whatever answer you want.
Dude, Sydney, Australia is one of the most beautiful places in the world. Um, and I loved being there. I loved playing there. We'd go to the beach before games. Like just an awesome city. So that's probably the most fun I've had playing baseball was over there. Worst city, man. I spent 3 or 2 seasons in Jackson, Tennessee. It's a tough go in Jackson, Tennessee. I'll leave it at that. It is a tough go in the summer in Jackson, Tennessee, man, without a doubt.
I'm just looking at some of these cities that you've played and just really all over the country. I mean, Missoula, Reno,
Yeah,
Jackson. But then
Mobile.
also, like you said, Sydney, and you were playing in Mexico, and then other places like Toledo. But like, did you ever think that playing baseball was going to literally take you all over the world?
No, that wasn't. I never really crossed my mind. Like when I was 17 and got drafted, I would have told you I was gonna make like $100 million and be in the big leagues in like 3 years. That's just the naive, like cocky high school kid in you that thinks it's like, oh, I'll just hit 600 like I always have. But I'm so fortunate for my story, man. Like the ups and downs, like minor league grinder through and through, like going into my 11th full season, and I'm so fortunate that my story's gone this way, and there's still a bunch of it to be written, and I'm still here, still healthy, still doing better than ever. So it's been an awesome journey, to say the least. I wouldn't want it to go any other way.
Now, before we let you go, just to follow up, another follow-up question on Ed's there is, what was your favorite team name you played for, and why was it the Lightning Sloths?
Yeah, great. Dude, so that was like during COVID. It was like I got released by the Giants because they, that year was a mess or whatever. And yeah, the Sugarland Lightning Sloths. It was awesome. I think it was awesome. We played like this indie ball, like basically pickup baseball league, like double headers every night. Like you're down the line watching the other game. Like it's travel ball. Like you're giving each other flips in the cage if you can. Like sharing a locker room with the team before. Get dressed like at the hotel. Drive over. It was just like true summer ball, dude. And I had so much fun playing there. And Lightning Sloth was awesome because they didn't want to like get us new hats, or like we still wore the Sugarland jerseys, so just like LS, like Sugarland or Lightning Sloth, like, oh, it just throws together. And why they came up with that name, I don't know. But I have a Lightning Sloth tank top that you will see me wearing at some point, for BP or early work or something. I keep that one near and dear to my heart. So, yeah, it was definitely a Lightning Sloth. You nailed it.
Yeah, well, I saw that name. I'm like, that's got to be the one.
Yeah,
So always those
without a
indie ball
doubt.
teams, man. Always those indie ball teams have good
Yep,
names. But
they'll get you.
Jamie, we appreciate all the time. I don't want to take you away from your family any more than we have during the off season, because it's already mid-December and you're going to be heading down to Florida before you know it. So
No
um,
doubt. I
we
yeah, I appreciate being on with you guys, but yeah, I can see my wife right now. I definitely have a diaper. I definitely have a diaper to change. It seems like I always get the ones with a little more substance in them, so I'm definitely getting that call right now.
It's all good. We thank you so much, and we'll be seeing you down in Fort Myers and possibly Worcester to start the year. So thank you for your time.
Absolutely. Nice talking to you guys, man. Looking forward to meeting you, and we'll see you before we know it.